Vietnam. Yep. So for Vietnamese teachers, so as I mentioned, it's possible for you that we just turn on your camera and then we can interact with David. And from today, I will hand all of you to David, and David will be in charge for all the class. You're gonna have 10 sessions with David, and the other one speaking session with Graham as well. Okay, yes, welcome to the class today. I think our support team still slowly have the other teacher to join to the class. So you can start the class whenever you're ready, David.
Yeah, great. Thank you. Hey, a couple of things that I've learned from past courses is that it's easier for me if I can see your first name only. So Tracy's a winner because it's possible to pronounce Tracy. But not only that, but you can be ticked off the roll and we can keep an idea about what's going on. So if you've got, thanks, Emily. If you've got, I asked people in other classes to put what their family calls, what your friends and family call you. And if it's just one name, that's quite handy. If it's westernized, that's okay as well for me. And then for you, it's good as well. So I can keep track of interactions that happen in the class and also results and things like that. So I'll do the same thing too. It's just easier at the start of these sessions if we have one name that's easy to pronounce. Yeah. Now, thanks for that, and I really appreciate it. Now, the courses before, Fan, if you could, and Harley, brilliant. So choose a name, and it can be your name. It just needs to be one rather than three, because it causes confusion for me, which then gets played back to you, and it's not good. So if we can do that. Hey, Jessica's mentioned it, and you've had that meeting on Monday. There is the purpose of the course is about, I'm going to show you in a minute. It's about 12 lessons long, and it's quite short, or each 2-hour session. And we've got something specific for each session to do. And then I'm going to, I'll show you that now while we're still lining up. Thanks, look. Lee Jiang's probably straightforward. I'm just going to show you some information here about the plan for the course. So this is what it looks like at the moment, and this is likely to be the way it will stay, is that we're going to do each of the PTE tasks one at a time. And we've also got, and just mentioned the 2 extra classes. One of them is how to mark an essay with Peter. So Peter's a very experienced marker from who's based in Brazil at the moment, but he's been working in the industry for a long time. He's going to talk you through marking and assessment, because we think that's an area that's not often taught, and it's a great opportunity to give you those skills. Yep. And then there's a pronunciation session with Graham, and Graham's based in Vietnam, and he's very experienced as well. He's been in industry for decades, and he will be able to guide you through Vietnamese-based pronunciation, as well as teaching pronunciation as well. So these lessons are designed for your skills, but really they're actually designed for you to be able to teach those skills to students. And that's what I want to focus on as well in our sessions, is becoming familiar with the PTE, and then being able to teach it to your students, because we know that we've had successful teachers go through this course before, and they're ready to go with teaching the 20 tasks of the PTE. So over our sessions, these are sort of code forms, but this is also on your platform for the tasks, the 20 tasks of the PTE. And they include, I'm going to show you those on a slide in a moment. But that's the plan for the time that we've got together. So Peter will be with you next week to do essay marking, and Graham will be with you next week to do essay marking. I'll be with you for the rest of the time. And the fun that I want to experience with you, as in fun as in learning, is to practice online teaching methodologies or methods. So we'll be doing that next, focusing on that at the last lesson of the session. But my background at the moment is, my interest at the moment are hybrid English language teaching. So I'm doing my PhD through Victoria University, looking at the way that we can use online methodologies to enable people to teach, to learn English around the world. And our focus for our sessions will be teaching of the PTE. In this session, we'll also be covering some grammar. So we're going to focus, this is lesson 1, on summarize written text and write essay. Now, these videos of the overviews of these tasks I'll put on your platform so that you can watch them and become familiar with them. And I really think the way to be successful at teaching PTE is to become very familiar with the methods. So it's essential for students to become familiar with the methods. It's even more essential that teachers are familiar with the methods so that they can teach them. So I'm going to walk us through all of the tasks and the methods for each of the tasks and practice it, and also practice developing some of the skills in each of those tasks so that we can score highly. So just that's the plan. And what I'll do is, the reason we want to score highly is because we have to kind of walk the talk and walk the walk. So we have to be able to do what it is that we're asking students to do. And to do that, we have to learn how to do it. So if we haven't done it before, then it's all new. If you have done it before, then it's becoming better at it. Now, we're just waiting for a few more people, but this is the plan, and that's on the platform. And you can access that from the platform. And thanks, Jessica and the team, for walking you through that. In the chat box, can I ask you to write the name that you would like to be called in class in the chat box, and that way I'll compile a list afterwards so that it will correspond with the role, so we can keep checking that. I'm going to give us an overview, and then I'm going to ask you to go into breakout rooms and introduce yourselves to each other, because some of you have not met before. In fact, I guess most of you haven't. Thanks, Tuan. Yeah, thanks, Harley. Harley's got a name. Cool, Hewan, excellent. Okay, so we get that list happening, we can communicate. Thanks, Kun. Brilliant. Now, there are 20 tasks in the PTE. Hi, Luke. 20 tasks in the PTE. I'm going to go quickly through them, and then we'll become familiar with them. 2 writing, 5 speaking, 5 reading, and 8 listening. So that corresponds with the plan for our 2 weeks together, or a couple of for our times together. Yep. So in writing, we've got 2 tasks, and these are what we're going to start doing today. Hi, Han. Summarize written text and write essay. And in that, this write essay is the most complicated of all the tasks, because it requires all strict grammar skills and strict ordering of ideas. So we're going to start with that today, so we've got a chance to practice. And what you start doing today, you'll be able to submit as an assessment that Peter will work on and then give you feedback on next week. So the idea is we're going to build your writing skills as well as familiarity with the test. So the 2 writing tasks are summarize written text, SWT, write essay, WE. In the PTE test, there are a small number of these tasks, but they take a considerable amount of time. So 10 minutes for summarize written text and 20 minutes for write essay. And you're welcome to write it down, because the more physical writing down we do, the more chance we have of remembering it or creating a memory of it. Now, at the end of this, you will get at the end of the course, you will get a summary of of all the notes that you need. But what I'm going to encourage you to do is to take notes during the course and practice, take screenshots and develop your own notes. And at the end, you'll get a tidy bunch of notes as well. Hi, Emily. Now, that's the writing tasks. The speaking tasks, and we'll cover this many times: read aloud, repeat sentence, describe image, retell lecture, and answer short question. There are a number of each of these tasks in the test, and there are a limited amount of times for people to do that. So 2 writing, 5 speaking. Yep, you'll be familiar with these. Take screenshots at any time, but also this will be summarized in strict form later on. Reading, 5 tasks: reading, writing, filling in the blanks, multiple choice, choose multiple answers, reorder paragraphs, filling in the blanks, and multiple choice, choose single answer. And again, there are a number of these in each test. But there's also the requirement in reading and listening is that students have to monitor their own pace through that part of the test. So if we find there's 29 to 30 minutes in the reading test, students have to strictly manage their time during the session. Now, we'll focus on this much more in the reading when we focus on reading. But there are the tasks, just so we get a quick overview. There's 8 listening tasks. So we've had 2 writing, 5 speaking, 5 reading. That's 12, and 8 listening brings us up to 20. And these are the variety of tasks here. Summarize spoken text, multiple choice, choose multiple answers, filling in the blanks, highlight correct summary, multiple choice, choose single answer, select missing word, highlight incorrect words, and write from dictation. A small number of each of these tasks, but again, students must be aware of the time that the limited amount of time they've got to do in these tasks, except for summarize spoken text, which is a 10-minute timed task. Now, that's just to give you the overview, 20 tasks, that number in each of those sections, and there are obviously 4 tests. So reading, writing, speaking, and listening. So we're going to learn the skills for all of those tasks during this time that we spend together. So that's the tasks. They're the lesson numbers of the tasks. Now, someone's asking a question. Someone who's got a code word on their as their, yeah. So what we've asked to do, and that is HPGK9TFZ, if you could put a first name, one name only on your camera, like Harley and Jess and Tracy, then it's easier for the rest of us. So I can't otherwise, don't know what, you've got your hand up, but I don't know what to call you. Okay. Now, you may not have meant to put a hand up. Okay, so that's the overview, 20 tasks. Now, what is also useful to know is that there are 3 negatively marked tasks, and we'll talk about those later. Yep. Now, cool. So thanks for the names in there. What we're going to do now is to pop into, while everybody's arrived, pop into breakout rooms. And we're just going to experiment with breakout rooms. You're going to introduce yourselves to each other, and you're going to do it 3 times. So you've got about 30 seconds each. So just over a minute in each breakout room, and then you'll be swapped around. So we're going to get the experience of what it's like to be shuffled in breakout rooms. So at the moment, there are 16 students. So what I do, because I want to teach you as many skills as I can, is I set up 8 breakout rooms. You can't see on the screen what I'm doing, but in the breakout room icon, I'm able to set up automatically 8 breakout rooms. Now, that means that you've all been shuffled into different rooms by the algorithm. And I'm going to press open all rooms. I'm going to ask you to please accept the invitation, introduce your name to each other, where you're working, and why you are studying the PTE. Now, remember, you've only got 30 or 40 seconds each before you'll be before you'll be shuffled into another room. Okay, here we go. So please accept the invitations. It should appear on your screen, and you just accept the invitation that's on your screen. Cool. Anne, do you have a room? Anne's not there by the looks of it. Oh, she's. Hi, Yen Nguyen.
Yes, hello. Nice to see you.
Yeah, nice to
Yeah.
see you. Now, could you, there'll be an invitation on your screen to a breakout. Oh, I'll move you into a breakout room. Hang on. Yen.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll get it. Now, why can't I see your name? Is your...
My name, let me see. I will type in the chat box for you. Okay, this.
Yeah, it's just that you haven't been allocated a room, that's all. So I'll just find you in here.
Yes. I have trouble with login in the website and I'm a little bit late.
Yep. Now, Yen, what is your name? There you are there. Okay.
Let me see whether can I change my name so it's a little bit easier for you to see me. I don't know how to do it. Long time no see this.
Okay.
I'm going to change the nickname. Oh,
Just that
it is.
I can't see you registered here. So here it is. Okay. Cool.
Yes, okay.
Right. Yeah, hang on. I'm going to put you in, I believe. Yeah, here we go. Into a breakout room with Farn and others. You're going to introduce yourself to each other. Okay. So please accept the invitation, Yen. Now, here we go. Min. Oh, where's Min gone? Ah. Ah. Hi, Min. I put someone in your room, but I'm going to put you back into room 1. No, not. If you can accept the invitation. It's actually. Now. Yeah. Yeah. Luke not joined. Okay. Yeah. 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 Okay. Yeah. No. Right. No.
Hello, Mr. David.
Hello. Hi, Tuan. Hey, good to have you. Hey, so that's what it's like to be thrown around in the breakout rooms.
Yeah,
Yeah. And you get
yeah, I meet a lot of friends. Thank
Yeah,
you
yeah.
for creating the chance that we can have chance to chat and talk, introduce to each other.
Fantastic. Great. Good work. What is very important about this whole training session is that you do get to talk with each other, at different stages, because you guys know a lot about what's going on in your classrooms and what might go on in your classrooms. So that's it's good that you get to see each other, talk to each other, hear each other, and also exchange information with each other too. So it's all important. Now, I miss out on it, of course, but I don't intend to, because I want to get to know what you're up to as well. So, and here's Luke. Fantastic. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and Arn, 16. So there are currently 16 of us. Yay, good work. Great chance. Beautiful. Now, excellent. And please communicate, use emojis. Emotions are all part of it. And also use the chat box to communicate with each other. Take notes, and we'll try to make it as it needs to be, with enough communication happening between each other. What I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to go into a grammar part of a lesson, into a grammar lesson that's going to influence the writing tasks. So what I'd like to do, in fact, before we do that, what I want us to do is, before we do that, is to see what it's like to introduce yourself to the class as well. And thanks for your backdrops. They look fantastic. So we're going to start with, I'm going to call people's names. I just want you to introduce yourself, say perhaps which city you're in, what environment you're teaching in at the moment, like what is the age group of your students, and what is the kind of work you're doing, and also why are you studying. Why do you want to teach the PTE? Like, of what value is it to you? Cool. So we'll start. I have to call a name because I'm not sure that you see the order that I see. So Cindy, could you start? Because you're my top left-hand corner. Cindy?
Hello, Miss David, and hello, everyone. My name's Cindy, and currently I have been working as an English teacher at a high school in my city, and I come from Buôn City.
Beautiful work. Yep.
Yes.
Keep going. Yep. Cindy, why are you teaching the PTE?
At the moment, I see that everyone wants to take the IELTS test, and I see that this is very common, and many students invest a lot of time and money in taking the IELTS test. However, I don't want to limit myself to teaching IELTS only. I want to expand my knowledge and my skill to teaching different certificates in English. So that's why I registered this course. Thank you.
Thank you, Cindy. Min, could you introduce yourself and say who you're teaching and why you're teaching PTE? Min?
I think teacher means Minh Han. Miss Minh Han.
Minhan.
Yes.
Right. I know that's
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. That's the problem. If I don't say the other word, it goes wrong. So that's why it's got to, if you've got that's why, I have to call myself David, one name, but Minhan. Minhan, could you? Thanks, Tracy. Yeah.
Hello
Minhan.
everyone. I'm Han. I'm a English teacher in primary school. Yes. I want to have a new class for me.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool. Okay. Excellent. In primary school. Brilliant. Now, we'll talk more about PTE and how it's relevant to younger people too. Sophie, where are you teaching and why do you want to teach the PTE?
Hello everyone, my name is Sophie, yes, and now I'm living in Biên Hòa City. And honestly, I'm a teacher teaching some extra classes. And so the reason why I choose PTEs is I want to have a new opportunity to me, yes, because when I teach my class and I realized that IELTS is quite difficult for many students where I'm living, so I want to change to a new one. Yes.
Yeah, brilliant. Got it. Okay, so great. So we can get insight into the PTE so we can make it possible to do. I'm going to introduce the idea now that PTE is an academic test that sampled 20 different types of text type or that enables you to demonstrate your skills. So it's quite interesting that we can deal with it at primary, high school, and also at adult level as well. And we'll look at ways of approaching it that the task types are useful practice across a range of age groups, and we'll work out how we can modify the materials for the younger classes as well, but still explore that text type or that test type, task type for different age groups. So that will be interesting to explore. Tuan, where are you teaching and why the PTE?
Hello, Mr. David and everyone. My name is Train. I'm living in Ho Chi Minh City and currently working in an international school. I don't open any class. I just tutor the student. So I want to join the PTE course because it seems so new, and I want to find a new market for the new certificates instead of IELTS, because IELTS is so common today. And then even when for public school, like student most of them choose IELTS as a pathway for English. So I want to find the new that's why I chose the PTE course.
Great, thanks. Now, new also means digital and fully online. So you can't do a paper-based PTE test. And that it is new, and that's what we want to get our skills up and working over the next period of time as well. So thanks for that insight, Tuan. Jasmine, where are you teaching and why? Who, where, and why?
Okay, hello, Mr. David, and hello, everyone. My name is Jasmine, and I'm an English teacher in an English center in Biên Hòa City, which is very near Ho Chi Minh City. And now, currently, I'm teaching about IELTS certificate, TOEIC, and communicative English for workers and for students in university. And the reason why I choose PTE because I don't know much about PTE, but a lot of my students know about PTE, and they come to me and they ask me whether I can teach them about PTE. So I'm curious about that, and I take this course to know more about PTE, because IELTS is so difficult for them to take to achieve in a short time, because they need a certificate and they come to another country to work and live. Yeah, so PTE is made a good choice for them.
The other choice one, beautiful work. Okay, thank you. Tran, can you mention who, where, and why?
Hello, David. Hello, everyone. I'm John. I'm living in Ho Chi Minh City. Currently, I'm not an English teacher, but 10 years ago, I used to be an English teacher in a university, and now I'm working as an office worker. But I would like to, open a new career path in teaching. And I coincidentally know about PTE, and I think this test is very suitable for my personality and my new career path. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Great choice. Thank you. Harley.
Hi everyone. So sorry because I'm using the filter now. I'm having chicken pox, so it's all over my face. So I cannot show my face right now. So you can call me Harley. Thank you. You can call me Harley, and I am from Nha Trang City. So currently I am working for myself. So yeah, I manage a kind of center. And I'm looking for more opportunity to teach, because right now I have been teaching communicative English for so long, and I would like to teach something else. So, and because in my area in Nha Trang City there are a lot of centers that teach IELTS already, so I thought of PTE, and that's why I'm learning PTE right now.
Beautiful work. Thanks for that. Sorry about the chicken pox. Now, Le Jiang, are you in the room?
Yes, hello David. I'm here.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, I'm currently teaching at high school, and it is in Baguio City. I'm curious about AI. I want to know how AI can support teachers and students. So I take part in this course, PT. Nice to meet you and all of you here.
Beautiful. Okay. Huang?
Hello, Mr. David. Hello, everyone. I'm from Thừa Thiên province. I am a founder of an English center for young learners. And the reason why I tried a PT course to expand my market, and I want to have some online class.
Online class, beautiful. Perfect. Got it. Now here's see Quen. Quinn? Yeah, Tracy, help. There's Huan, and next door to Huan is Quyen. Now QUY
Is Queen. Yes.
Wait,
yeah.
okay, I'm gonna change my name.
Yeah, because they're very simple. Okay, one of you keep your name, the other one Quinn Tran. Are you?
Yes,
Yeah,
Queen.
where are you teaching and who are you teaching?
Hello everyone. Hello, Mr. David. Yeah. So I come from Tây Ninh province. So in my area, I want to be the first person who can teach the PTE, because around me there are no teacher teach about this certificate. To be honest, I just know about PTE from 1 month ago. Yes. So I want to improve my skill, to have more knowledge, to expand my career, to have more students maybe in the future. Yes. Thank you, everyone. Great to meet you, Mr. David.
Nice to meet you too, Quinn.
Yeah.
Boren.
So, hello everyone. My name is Huyen, but you can call me by my nickname Puren. I've been teaching English for about more than 13 years, and I have been teaching different ages and different levels. Right now, I'm teaching university students and adults, and mostly I teach communicative courses and test prep. So I've been teaching TOEIC, IELTS, SAT, but I've not familiar with the PTE. And the reason why I decided to take this course because I have a group of students that they are learning communicative courses with me and they want to get PTE so that they can go to Australia and work. But I have no idea about this certificate. And actually, when I try to find out about this one, I was a little bit terrifying because I'm scared of the IELTS writing task one, but the PTE transform it into the speaking task, and like I understand and I am aware that I cannot teach them if I'm not familiar with the test and I'm not well prepared and well qualified teacher. So that's why I decided to take this one.
Cool.
Thank you.
Brilliant. Great choice. Thank you. Luke. Luke.
Hello, David. Hello, everyone. My name is Luke. I'm freelancing English teachers. So I have more than 5 years experience in teaching of communication and for the English level, from basic to the advanced. Come to PTE is the replacement test for IELTS and other tests. So I want to have my group of students who can improve their knowledge and skill so that I can get a PTE certificate quickly. Good to see you, everyone.
Thanks, Luke, for that. Emily?
Okay, so hello everyone. My name is Emily. Like all of you here, we all have a trouble with IELTS certificate and teaching it, and we also want to find like a new market in teaching English in Vietnam, and I'm into that. I want to learn PTE is not only for my job but also for myself. I want to enhance my knowledge and add a new certificate beside IELTS certificate. And I'm currently a freelance teacher, and I'm work between Vũng Tàu City and Ho Chi Minh City. I teach for a variety of students from like young learners to adult with communicative courses.
Beautiful work. Thanks for that. We can build on that. Thanks, Emily. Tam Ho.
Hello, everyone. My name is Dom, and now I'm living in Hà Tĩnh province. And currently, I am teaching for young learners from 2 to 9 grade. And the reason why I chose this PTE course because I used to have several friends ask me to teach them some of these skills of this test, this certificate, but this test, sorry. But at that time, that's the first time I heard about this PTE certificate, and I have no idea about it. So now some of my friends share with me about this course, so I want to join.
Brilliant.
That's why.
Perfect. Thank you, Tom. Tracy?
Hello, Mr. David, and hello, classmates. Currently, I'm teaching young learners and teens from grade 3 to grade 9. And before I took English, I took IELTS test 3 times, and I find it's hard for me to expand to get higher score in IELTS, and I want to learn something new, and I want to challenge myself, and maybe in the future I will teach PTE. So I choose this course and I'm here now. Yes,
Cool.
thank you.
Brilliant. Thanks. Hopefully we'll be able to remember that. Thank you for that. That makes sense. Anne?
Hello, my name is Minh Anh, or you can call me Mia. I'm from Ho Chi Minh City, and I work at an English center right now, and my students are mostly young learners. So I'm looking for a new way, I'm looking for a new career path for myself. And actually, I got to know about PTE for just roughly a month now. And I got interested by Miss Chance, she from the CEF group.
Okay, we got it. You're teaching juniors at the moment. Yeah, cool. Now, a large number of people are teaching juniors, so we're going to work out how. But we've also mentioned communicative skills. So, and we'll talk about that in a minute. How we identify the communicative skills necessary to get the scores in PTE that we ongoingly teach. So we'll look at that, which is what PTE does as well. Assesses communicative skills and then gives grades that are based on an accumulation of those scores in the communicative skills, which means that you can deal with younger. We're going to try to work out how we deal with younger students, meaning juniors, learning communicative skills that can be assessed by PTE where possible. Because overall, it's generally been treated as in my experience, as an adult test, but it is also online friendly, and we can use it. We can use the task types we mentioned before, 20 task types, to assess students' levels and also give them frameworks to work within to give purpose to their learning for the communicative skills. So it'd be fine for juniors. Dang, can you explain where you're up to?
Hi, Mr. David, and hi, everyone. I'm here, just like everyone here today. I'm in this class to learn about how PTE tests work, and I also want to get a certificate because, to be honest, I've been teaching PTE for half a year, but because I don't have any certificate, so I cannot work in big center.
Cool. Brilliant. Now, that all makes sense. Now, I'm not sure what cities you're in. You will recognize it when you mention it to each other, but because I'm not familiar with Vietnam enough yet, but we're in this room together. Now, what Dang has mentioned too is my own experience as well, which is to teach the PTE. It's a very good idea to take the PTE test several times. And my experience is, amongst others as well, who want to be certified to get the certificate for your own purposes, is to learn the methods that we teach at E2 language and then apply the methods in the test. Now, from the teacher's point of view, the best test for me was to use the methods that we teach and then take the test and then score the highest mark possible. So my scores have been 90 across the communicative skills and 90 across the test, only using E2 language methods, so that I know that when we walk that talk, or we do the talk and walk the talk, the methods work. So it's the discipline of learning those methods, because what we also find is that everybody needs to learn the communicative skills with vocabulary, grammar, pronunciation, written discourse skills, spelling. I think there are 8 communicative skills, but you also need to work out a method for each task type in the test. And that's what we'll learn. So it's English skills and test skills. And the 3 most difficult tasks, 2 of them are speaking, one of them is describe image, one of them is retell lecture, and the other one is write essay. And in my mind, write essay is the most difficult task to accomplish. It just takes more time because it does expose everybody's grammar knowledge, which takes a long time to accumulate accurately. So that's why we're going to start with the 2 writing tasks in a minute. So it's grammar ongoing. Now, for that end, I'm actually going to start with a grammar task. But thanks for all those introductions. I've taken notes because it is fascinating. We've got juniors, which we're going to work out how to adapt the PTE for. High school students, it's closer to them. Then it becomes an academic test because it's actually called PTE, Pearson Test of English-A, and the A is academic. Now, the academic means that the test was designed to sample the skills that would be necessary in an education context. So listening to lectures, taking notes, responding, describing images in front of us, writing an essay, listening to an audio text like a lecture and then summarizing it, and then our listening and comprehension skills. So it's useful for an education context of whatever that context, and we're going to really look at it for the people that you're going to teach to. So while the course might be aimed for students achieving migration passports or access to university or tests, permanent residency, we're going to look for what your cohorts are at the moment and how it can be useful for that as a test to strive towards. Also, it's an online test, so it's digital online. Learning is accessible remotely as well as in a physical classroom, and we want to work out how that can work to everybody's advantage as well, yours and the students, and that's a fascinating area. As we are now remote to each other and remote from each other and learning in the same room at the same time. So we're going to develop those skills as well as get your skills up so that you can take the test and score as high as possible, walk the talk, walk the walk, score the score, then teach it. So what you're teaching, is what you're able to achieve personally as well. Now we've got the writing task. Thanks everyone. The writing task, if we have a look at this is the writing task, is 2 tasks: summarize written text and write essay. The summarized written task takes up to 10 minutes in the test, and write essay takes 20 minutes. To learn how to do it takes a long time. But on test day, we have to produce results, in a limited amount of time. Now, what I'm going to start with in this session is, and again, those of you who arrived late, there's 5 speaking, 5 reading, 8 listening, and 2 writing tasks, and we're going to be learning how to do them over the period that we've got together, as well as doing some marking, assessment learning, some pronunciation work, a mock test. So you're going to take the test before the end of the course and get an indicative score of where you're up to, and then we're going to talk about teaching online and develop methods to be able to do that effectively. And I hope to embed that in the course all the way along the way. So in this session, what we're going to start with is this. Now, I'm going to start, what I've learned over a long time is that, I'll just close that, is that writing sentences is ongoing. So we think, we teach how to write a sentence. Yeah, but we pretty much have to teach it every week because it takes an enormous amount of time for people to turn the ship around and write a straight sentence. It takes a long time because there are just small things that need to be corrected each time. So what I'm going to do is start with the sentence as a unit, and then we're going to look at summarize written text and write essay. Now, one essential unit of the sentence is the relative clause. We're going to explore this. Now, there are 3 types of sentences. Those of you who are English teachers, which is most of you language teachers, those of you who are students, it's the same thing. Still have to know it. There's simple sentence, complex sentence, and compound sentence. A simple sentence is one that has a subject, a verb, and an object, and we'll keep exploring it. A compound sentence is one that joins 2 independent sentences together with a conjunction. And a complex sentence is one that has an independent clause and a clause that depends on that independent clause, known as the dependent clause. Now, we're going to look at relative clauses which exist in a sentence which adds information that is a perfect sentence form for summarized written text. So that's what it's leading to. So we'll just get to it so we understand by doing. So the zebra is an animal that lives in Africa. So here we go. We're going to work through some stuff, then we're going to do the PTE task. Just make sure we're recording everything. Yep. Relative clauses. When we begin to learn English, we learn very basic sentences. For example, the girl, subject, is wearing, verb, glasses, object. Question form, do you know the girl? But we can create more advanced sentences using relative clauses. The girl, subject, appears in both sentences, so we can use a relative clause to make one sentence. Instead of repeating the girl, we can replace the girl with who. Now that's a subject pronoun that stands in place of the female subject or the person, the human. So rather than do you know the girl is wearing glasses, we say, do you know the girl who is wearing glasses? So who is the relative pronoun. Now pronoun, P-R-O-N-O-U-N, means for noun or noun for. Pro means for in Greek. Con means against. So it's pronoun. So who stands for the girl. Do you know the girl who is wearing glasses? We've created a relative clause. This clause relates to the first part. It's a relative part of this part of the sentence. A clause is a sentence part. Okay, now we're going to get used to it. A relative clause or adjective clause can be used to join two sentences or to give more information about something. So the girl is wearing glasses. Do you know the girl? Two sentences, or one question, one sentence. Do you know the girl who is wearing glasses? The relative clause provides information about the noun, the girl. So this provides information about the subject of the previous clause. Cool? So we call it an adjective clause because it, just like an adjective, it gives information about a noun. So it's a relative clause. Adjective clause is an Americanization, but it's a relative clause because it's related to the clause that comes before, and it gives more information is what the adjective clause means because it describes the girl. So we're going to find in the screen here, see if you can. Now, what we can do is on your side of the screen, or maybe you can't. No. In some classes, I don't think you can do it. I'm going to see if we can enable it during the course so that you can end up annotating the screen in front of the class. But I don't think you're currently able to do it with the Zoom settings we've got. So I can't ask you to do that. But I want you to locate these descriptions in this image. So the woman who is applying sunscreen is somewhere in the image. The boy who is building a snowman, somewhere in the image. See if you can locate them. And when you can, let me know. So just identify the people in the image. So you go for it. We can't annotate them at this stage, but I'll let you do that.
Maybe I'll go first.
Yep.
The woman who is applying sunscreen is at the top right corner of the picture.
Yay, great work. Thank you. All righty, good work. All right. Anybody else want to have a go?
The second one is the boy who is on the top left. No, who is on the bottom left.
That's the one. Good work. Building a snowman. Perfect. Okay. Next one.
The animal that is playing the guitar.
Yep, go. Who spoke first can go first.
Okay, and I love animals, so I see the animal that is playing the guitar is in the front of the picture. She maybe a dog.
Yeah. Cool.
Sitting
Yeah.
around several mouses, mouse or mice. Which is the plural? I forgot.
Okay, I think this is looks like a walrus. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
a walrus.
walrus.
Oh,
Okay,
can you guys type the words for me? I don't know that's word. Thank you.
Yes.
beautiful work.
The
Thanks,
man
mate.
who the man
Yep.
yes, the man who is wearing three watches is swimming in the pool, right?
Swimming in the pool. Swimming in the pool.
Swimming in the pool.
Let's
The man
see the
who is
words.
wearing three watches.
This guy? No.
Below, please.
Oh, here.
The
Below,
swimming.
below,
Got him
yes.
here. Okay, cool. Alrighty, party. Yeah, we got him. Okay, we got the guy with three watches, and where's the man who's taking a nap?
It's the person who's lying between the dog sitting on a chair and the man who is building a snowman.
This one?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. We found them. Okay, so we've located them, and we've identified them accurately. Okay, they're all accounted for. Okay, so let's keep going because we're going to end up writing sentences about some of these situations here. So the man is tired. He's been working all day. We're going to replace the pronoun he with the relative pronoun who, because this is describing a person. So the man is tired who has been working all day. So the man who has been working all day is tired is going to be a sentence with a relative clause and correctly formed with a subject, relative clause, and rest of sentence. So the man is tired, and we put the description relating to the man in the middle. Okay. Now, relative clauses are introduced by a relative pronoun, such as who, that, whose is possessive, or a relative adverb, such as when, where, and why. And the clauses always contain a verb. So a relative clause can be used to describe a subject or an object. Now, the subject is the thing that does the action, and the object is the thing that comes after the verb. So the subject, and we have as Thomas, the object is the cake. Thomas ate the cake that was on the table, and that is a thing-related relative pronoun. So it describes the object of the sentence, the cake. So rather than describe Thomas, in this case, we can describe the cake. Let's keep going. Here, the relative clause describes the subject of the sentence. Thomas ate the cake. Thomas, who was really hungry, ate the cake. The relative clause is describing the subject of the sentence. It's adjectival in that way. It gives information about Thomas. Thomas was really hungry, ate the cake. A relative clause always follows the noun it modifies. So students who ask questions learn a lot more. Which students learn a lot more? Students who ask questions. She wore the dress that I bought for her. Which dress did she wear? The dress that I bought for her. So it comes after the noun it describes. Who is used to describe people? The man who is standing at the bus stop is my father. That and which are used to describe things. In general, that is preferred. In Northern American English, but also in British English, we use which or that, and sometimes, most of the time, they're interchangeable. But the preferred in North American English is the pronoun that. The book that is on the table belongs to me. The book, which we talked about, is on sale this week. Sometimes we also use that to describe people, so who and that. This is more informal. The man that is standing at the bus stop is my father. More correctly, the man who is standing at the bus stop is my father. So I've got who, which, and that to describe things and people to introduce relative clauses. Here we go. Can you combine the two sentences using a relative clause with who or that? And more than one answer may be possible. So I met a woman, she's a professor at the local university. I met a woman who is a professor at the local university. So in the chat box, writing 2, 3, 4, and 5. All good, Emily?
Okay, I have a question. How can we know that when we use that to emphasize a person in a sentence instead of who, or just simply talk when it's not formal situation?
Yes, but in most cases, go with who. Prefer, if you're uncertain, go with who. So that will make sense, yes, but it is less formal, which means to some people it sounds incorrect. So I had this conversation with my brother the other week, which he said when to use who and that. And his ear, and he's not an English teacher, said it sounds wrong. It's not wrong. It just sounds less correct, meaning less formal. So when in doubt, use who. There's no real rule except in informal situations, but you can't go wrong with using who, but they are interchangeable and both acceptable.
Okay, so if we teach students so that we will inform them to stick with who more than that, right? And apply in the test, right?
That's right. But if they say that, they're not incorrect. Yeah. But it is better to be aware of it and then observe it in conversation and when we're watching films, listening to music, reading books, when it's interchanged as well, and notice it. Yeah. Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Q, and you got a question?
Excuse me, I have a question. Yes. So can you tell me what's the task in PTE that we use the relative clause or adjective clause?
Yep, we're going to do that in a minute. It's summarized written text. When we write a sentence of 3 to 4 parts, that summarizes a text of about 250 words. So that's why we're practicing this first, because experience has taught me that we need to know this information to do summarized written text. So yeah.
Only for summarized written text only?
Well, no, it can be. It's used specifically in summarized written text, but you can use this in essay writing. You can use it in essay writing in PTE, but they're the only 2 tasks that you'd use them. The other writing tasks are summarized spoken text, which is a writing task, but you wouldn't use it necessarily in that. So for the PTE, written English, write essay and summarize written text, but we're also aware that we're teaching students skills for life. So once they've mastered the sentence, and it is, like I said at the beginning, it doesn't end in 20 minutes. It ends in about 4 years. Yeah. So people,
Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. No worries. Yep, notice the verb tenses as well. Beautiful. Now, yeah, perfect. Now, don't forget to put full stops at the end as well, because you'll be graded on that as well, which is part of punctuation. Yep, and capital letter at the beginning. Now, we're also going to work out, everybody's onto it, and you're doing it beautifully. Okay. Now, if you've done it beautifully, you can teach it. Okay. Because you can understand it without frightening yourself, which is because we can't really make stuff up in the end. We actually have to know stuff. Good work. Keep going on that. Now, what you'll find is just a little bit more information. Yep, you can see, hopefully you can see each other's responses as well, which is part of the chat box experience, which means that sometimes you can set the chat box to everybody viewing it. Sometimes you can set it just to you. But in most cases, students learn from each other, like we learn from each other now. And in some cases, some people produce wrong answers. So don't copy the other student's work. Otherwise, you'll end up copying the wrong answer. So it's up to students to make the choice. Those who go first aren't necessarily always correct. Right. So I'll keep going. All right. Now, can you describe the following jobs using a relative clause? Okay. So 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 using your own imagination. I'm going to show you another thing too, is this Zoom feature while you're doing that. Is the clock feature. Okay, which now keep going, guys. Clocks are important because when we first start out, we think they're not going to, that makes us nervous and anxious. It does, but it also keeps us moving towards achievement. And it should become our friend rather than the thing that creates fear. It should be a thing that we also use to be realistic with students' skill level. So we're not going to make people do things they can't do. It's just not fair. It's cruel. So we say 2 to 3 minutes to do 4 minutes to do the task if it takes 4 minutes at student speed, at your student speed. And not everything's done at test speed. It can be done at learning speed, which is take longer. Yep. Yep, good work, Dane. Engines will be plural because there's more than one. We're going to find a list of every error that students make, and singulars and plurals is one of them. Yep, good work. Yep. Cool. Doing your question?
Yes, I have a questions for you. So, sorry. So when we teach the student the writing skill for summary written text, we just teach the student the relative clause with the basic one, or the advanced form of relative clause, such as like relative clause with preposition or reduced relative clause.
Yeah, I'm going to show you the task, and you can choose in a minute. But for experienced teachers has taught me that this is the basic unit for summarized written text is the relative pronoun who, which, or that. But we should teach them advanced forms of sentence structure, of relative clauses in sentence structure, use of prepositions, use of where the commas go, for example. Basically, the task, which we're going to have a look at in a minute, is a sentence of 3 to 4 parts, one of which, if we demonstrate a relative clause, shows that we can write a complex sentence using a relative pronoun. Now, E2 Language has chosen to teach this. Pearson doesn't say teach relative clause, write a sentence using a relative clause. We've chosen it because the algorithm, which is a computer-based algorithm, recognizes complex sentence structure, and that by writing the sentence in this form, we meet the expectations of the algorithm and therefore get a higher score. So that's why we teach this structure. But it's a good question, Tuan, because you're not limited to this structure, but you should show that you can use this form of grammar, a form of complex sentence, and this is one that will get you the highest score. So that's why we teach it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Thank you.
No worries. Now we're going to go to things. So we've got a list of things on the screen. And again, that seems to be about the right amount of time for this teacher set. So please give these a go. Yep. Cool. Okay. Yep. Good work, guys. Now we've got, cool. You've got the hang of it. Yep. We're going to look at articles later on as well and how to assess them as part of punctuation, part of grammar as well. Now, I want you to read this and in the chat box, write who you think is being spoken about or written about in this short text. Good work, Dang. Yep. So reading, recognizing sentences and identifying who is being described in this paragraph.
I guess he's Michael Jackson.
I think it was too. I actually thought yeah, I think it has to be Michael Jackson. Okay, now good work. Now we're going to do the next one. What we're looking at here is relative clauses, yep. And here we are. So we've got information adjectival clauses is what the Americans wanted to call it, but it is a relative clause related to using a relative pronoun relating to the subject by giving more description or more adjective. Okay, and in this one, good work, thank this one.
I think it's Nelson Mandela.
I guess it's Gandhi.
Okay, I think Nelson Mandela is South African, and I think Gandhi is Indian. Yeah, but they're both advocates for peace, so I think it's both of those guys. Now, this one.
Coffee?
Coffee, I believe it's coffee as well. And this?
I think it's an iPhone.
I think it's a mobile phone.
I think mobile phone is correct. Yeah. Rather than good work. Now, what we do is we're familiar enough with that. Now, this was taken from some materials that are extra to E2 language. But what we're going to do now is go into our lesson proper, which is, if I can find it, is an explanation of summarized written text. Yep. Now, I'm just going to do it here. Now, the way this is taught is that you may have access to as well is through the platform. Now, what that means is when I go to where we are, which is this, I as a teacher access the materials from the platform, and this may be what you would use too. Now, I've put your homework in there. So when you access, this is my teacher administration in, when you access your homework, you need to watch the PTE overview for summarized written text. Yep, and write essay. So I've given you the videos to watch there because now we're going to use, now we're going to we're going to learn how to do the task. So when I go into here, we're going to walk through the task from the platform. Now, there are two ways that this can be taught. One is from the platform, and what I do during the week is actually teach from PowerPoints, which have the same information as are in this platform version. So PTE writing. So we're going to look at both summarized written text, and this is the material that you would use to teach your students. And you're going to learn from this material by walking the walk. So you're going to walk the walk, and then you're going to teach the walk. Okay, so you learn how to do it, and then you're going to teach others how to do it. So, and we're going to get our skills set up. So we're going to look at both summarize written text and write essay, the two writing tasks. We're going to look at methods and do some grammar, sentence structure, and self-correction and vocabulary. So these are the other things that we will teach along the way so that students can get 50, 65, 79, and 90. Now, they can get whatever score they get, but 50 is generally the minimum, and 90, of course, is full marks. So depending on what your students need their results for, might just to get through the year, or to get migration, permanent residency, or access to university, or practice as a nurse, they'll need to know what it is they need to the score they need to get to achieve. So later you will read a text about solar cell technology, which will form the basis of today's summarized written text. But first, let's preview some of the vocabulary from that text and work on finding synonyms and/or pronouns. Then we'll look at some writing and vocab skills that will be useful in both PTE writing tasks. Now, the reason I'm looking around is because as soon as we mention synonyms, there's an extremely useful tool, which is both for the classroom but for us as learners, is the thesaurus. And there's a digital version of that, which is the thesaurus.com. And the only wrong with the thesaurus.com is it's got advertising through it. Yeah. But what it means is that I'll get it for you. I've got the reason I like it is because I bought it from a secondhand store and it cost me a couple of dollars. And it's a book that looks like the dictionary. So, and in it are lists of large numbers of synonyms or words of equivalent meaning, but they generally boost your vocabulary score because they are more descriptive than what we use every day. And remember, it's the PTE academic, so we're trying to train people to use vocabulary that's of a higher level. So you don't really need to see the book. What you need to see is is that if you click on the if you have a look at, that's my background, but here's the book. It's the thesaurus, which is called Roget's Thesaurus. It's been around forever, but meaning forever, at least back to the 1960s. And then in it are a list of synonyms, so that when you're writing, you can use it. When you're speaking, you can use it. Your students can develop a broader range of vocabulary by finding words that of equivalent meaning. Why it's also useful is because in the reading texts and the listening texts, we have to understand the meaning of the writer and the speaker. We need to comprehend what we're reading and comprehend what we're listening. We need access to vocabulary to do that. But also we may be asked to find meaning in texts that are where the words in the questions are not the words that were spoken or written. So we have to understand what was said and recognize the meaning of words. So we need to have a broad vocabulary. So that's very useful. So we're going to look at pronoun synonyms, and then we're going to look at writing and vocab skills that will be useful in both the PTE writing tasks. So we're focusing on writing for this session. So vocabulary and structure. Yes. Yep, cool. Okay, so this is some of the vocabulary you'll see in today's reading. So we do preliminary vocabulary work and write down synonyms and pronouns for these words. So can I ask you to find words of similar meaning that you know already, and in the chat box under time conditions, brainstorm some vocabulary or some synonyms. Now, it's also asked for pronouns. So you're going to use it, they, it or they in some cases as well, because we're going to use them in our writing. Now, again, when it asks for a timer, just have to use timing appropriately, because some people don't like to be under a lot of pressure, but they still need to come up with the results. In the chat box, coming up with brainstorming synonyms. Cool. The solar cells placed under the skin. Now, for junior groups, you may have introduced this vocabulary before you test them on it. For older groups, we may test what they know already. And for adults, we test what they know already. I'm looking for the clock on my side. Yep. Cool. And allow people to make mistakes. So we're on a learning curve, and the best teachers will tell us that we're just allow it to happen because we're going to get better, but we've got to be not afraid to put information out there as well. And we encourage all offers, and it's not a personal thing that we're criticizing. We're not criticizing the person, we're analyzing the language forever. And they must know that too. So we're trying to, one of the big jobs is the psychology job, which is to reduce the amount of fear, that a student might have to say anything at all in case they're marked as wrong, and they don't want to be marked as wrong. But what we do know, and I'll have learned it as well, is that if you make an offer, most often it's accepted, and then we modify it if it needs modification. Yep, and also do the ones you can. You don't have to do them all. Good work, guys. Yep, working out. Yep, singular or plural pronoun. Yep. Now, the other idea is that we see each other's work as well, because it stimulates our own memory or access to vocabulary. Yep. Okay, so there may be some results that we share, which in this case we've done. Yay. Now, what it does is ongoingly get us interested in developing an awareness of useful vocabulary. No. Yep. And vocabulary, Alexis, learning vocabulary is ongoing, like grammar is as well. So we might encourage students to write stuff down as we go, but not so slowly that they get disinterested in disengaged with what we're learning as well. They may have access to this material after the class, but most learning should happen in the class. Otherwise, everybody says, oh, I'll do it later, and never do it. So that's why it's a good idea to keep the pressure on us as well. Yeah. Otherwise, we just tune out. So here we go. Conjunctions. We're going to combine two or more sentences or ideas together. Using them will create a compound sentence, which will help your test score. Now, a compound sentence is two independent sentences joined together by a conjunction. Here's a list of conjunctions. Now, we're always teaching conjunctions. So can you combine these sentences to create a single sentence using one or two conjunctions? Do what you can with the information. And again, I'll put the clock on. We're going to allow 1.5 minutes at our level. Yep. You guys are test taker level. Okay, so, and this, oops, still going, hang on a sec. Brilliant, Dane. Great. Okay. Now, all right. Now that's the kind of sentence that scores 90. Now we've used conjunctions. We haven't used a relative pronoun, but we've used conjunctions to create a compound sentence by joining, independent sentences together using conjunctions. Now that's mastering the sentence, and that mastering the sentence is what you'll end up teaching. Yeah, because that's what students need to know at all levels. And your junior guys are probably going to need more help than adult learners. But adult learners make mistakes all the time. Okay, so nice work. So finishing that off, and also don't be afraid of mistakes, because if you're at a stage of learning English, still learning, then be prepared to make mistakes. Now, I'm at a stage of learning as well. I have to make mistakes and be corrected as well, but I'm also open to offering opinions and being right. So offer what you think is the right answer and then get feedback. Okay, so we're going to take it to the next level now. So we're going to, keeping an eye on the time, we're going to do summarized written task. And on test day, you'll have 10 minutes to do that, to read up to a text of up to about 300 words. So generally 250 to 300 words, and summarize it, which is what summarized written text is. So in PTE, all the tasks, the titles give us the instruction. So you need to write one sentence of between 5 and 75 words. Now that's what Pearson tell us. What we teach is that if you write 30 to 40 words, you're likely to make less mistakes, but you're also going to have summarized the main ideas. Do spend the full 10 minutes, because on each question, and choose 3 to 4 key pieces of information from the text. So the 3 to 4 key pieces of information are what you'll put into a single sentence. So you're going to write a single sentence of 3 to 4 parts, but of between 30 to 40 words. And that's really the mantra for summarized written text. And be aware that your performance will affect both reading and writing score, and you'll be assessed on content, length, grammar, and vocabulary. And we're going to look at the communicative skills, because that's one of the words that came out from the initial discussion, which influence everything we do in PTE, which are the basic units of communicative skills that we put into assessment, that are different for writing and for speaking and for reading and for listening. So when I say for writing and for speaking, I'm not sure that does apply to reading and listening. So we're going to have a look at what it looks like on test day. So here it is there. That's what it looks like on the paper on the screen. So when you go into the Pearson Testing Center, this is what it looks like. It's as boring as that. That is the color and that is the layout. When we say boring, it's as challenging as that as well. So it looks like this. The aim is to write 30 to 40 words, even though you're allowed 5 to 75. There's a counter that will tell you what you're writing. There'll be a timer that tells you how much time you've got. There are the instructions that remain the same each time, and there is the text in the area to write. So remember, the mantra is something like, and the methods that we teach at E2 Language are all kind of like memorable mantras in a way. A single grammatically correct sentence of 3 to 4 parts and 30 to 40 words. So grammatically correct sentence of 30 to 40 words and 3 to 4 parts. Same thing. But you can write up to 75. Now, the method is to speed read the text for keywords and main ideas, get an idea. So English testing technique for all of us is like, just make yourself familiar with the text. So before you do anything, have some idea what it is you're about to do. So look at the text, get an idea what it's about. That's our speed read, which is across the text or just absorbing it in one hit. And that's a skill set that is ongoingly taught, as well as how to speed read, how to skim and scan, find words in the text, and also get an impression of what it is you're reading in front of you. Then deep read the text and take notes, which means that you will have a pen and a pad that you're going to write down what it is, that the information that you're absorbing. So the deep read means read every word as you go, read to the end of the sentence and keep reading. And you'll have a full 10 minutes to write and then check and then keep adding and editing. So you end up with a sentence like Dang wrote before that is grammatically correct based on a summary of the information that you see in front of you. So we're going to speed read the text and find main ideas. So in this step, you're aiming to get a general idea of what the text is about, and it will take just a few seconds going like that or across like this, but generally it's just like that. You don't need to catch all the details. You just need to get an idea about what it's about. Then you'll deep read the text more carefully, take about 3 minutes to read and take notes, and use your mind to divide the text into the beginning, middle, and end, into parts. Generally, that's where the information will come from, and aim to take one idea from each part. And then spend the rest of the time, 6 or 7 minutes, writing, or 5 or 6 minutes writing and checking all the way along that we're actually including the main ideas, paraphrasing, using synonyms, expressing yourself, getting a view of what's going on and describing it effectively by paraphrasing. And then you can go back to the text and check the information all the way through the writing process. So ready to do one? Now you need to speed read the text first, deep read, and then write and check, and use the entire 10 minutes. Now, what might happen is you'll be finished in 7, but just let it play out, because keep checking it. You don't get any time you didn't use back later on the test. So we just teach everyone to just hang in there and stay there for 10, checking stuff out, waiting for that task to be moved on. Go break it into two key phrases, the reading and note-taking phase, and then writing and checking phase. So the first one, here it is, but we're going to a bit more information first. So can you skim over it, then speed read and take notes? Now, by taking notes, you do need to take notes of short phrases from the text that you are likely to paraphrase or use in your sentence of 3 to 4 parts. So skim read and then take 3 chunks of information and write them down. Let me know when you're finished and I'll start the clock. Don't write a sentence, just take notes. Okay, all righty. Now, remember, it's a 10-minute task and we're working at test speed. But when you're teaching juniors, man, they don't want to be taught at test speed. They'll go, it won't work. So work out what it is they need to know. But now, so what we're going to do now is, you know, that was going to happen. Hang on a sec. So we've gone through and written here. Now, that's what's happening. So what we get used to doing is recognizing key information. Now, one of the big breakthroughs at some stage is to work out what is key information, what is note-taking. Now, that's one of the skills we're going to learn. So we summarize written text, which means that we have to summarize the main ideas. Now, how do we do that is everybody's question when they're starting out. You guys might be able to do it already and can, but I'm going to write down what I'm going to write on the screen here. I'm going to use the annotation tool. Oh, brilliant. Yes, it is. Okay, so here it is. So main words in English are content words. So content words are non-grammar words. Content words are nouns, main verbs, adjectives, and adverbs. And all the way through the writing and then speaking tasks, they're the words we're identifying. So there's cells, noun, there's adjective. So there's a phrase, solar cells, verb generate, noun, 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 adjective, noun, preposition in that case, noun, adjective, noun, verb phrase, noun, now. So generally the information words, content words are nouns, made verbs, adjectives, and adverbs. And that's a big lesson to learn at some stage, is that they are the main words, because when we speak, we tend to stress the content words in English, which are fairly regular. And English is a stress-timed language, which means that they fall at regular intervals, seemingly by luck, but it's not luck. It's just that's the way the language has developed over time. So the content words are stressed or emphasized naturally in our speech. And in our writing is more constructed, but we're still extracting the information by identifying things, actions, what the things appear like, and what the verbs, what are the actions doing. So nouns, verbs, adjectives, and adverbs are the content words. The rest are grammar words linking the content words together. So that's a really good thing to know when we're taking information from reading, because reading comprehension is one of the big sets of skills, is we're trying to get meaning out of the text. Yeah, rather than just like a whatever alternative that is, which is like a painful exercise in looking at stuff we don't understand. So we're trying to extract meaning from it through reading. Listening comprehension is the same thing through listening. We'd like to understand what we're hearing. So the comprehension skills are the overall, is why we're doing what we're doing. We're creating meaning from the text that somebody else has presented to us. And we're doing it by extracting the content words in a lot of cases. So we're extracting the content. So we're writing short notes. Yep. And your notes may have included ideas that were like similar to this. Now, to get good at note taking, we need to just keep practicing. Yep. Work out what is the information I want to know. Now, then what happens is we're going to take those notes and we're going to write them into a sentence through paraphrasing, use of synonyms, and writing a strict sentence. And in this case, we've used a relative clause. So it's your turn. You're going to take your notes and you're going to write a sentence of 3 to 4 parts, spending about 4 minutes writing and 3 minutes reviewing, and write it into the chat box. Now, you had a glimpse at an answer there. There it is again. Yep, now it's gone. Okay, so your job is to do what we're asking the students to do, and then rewrite, summarize, put your main ideas into a single sentence of 3 to 4 parts. all good to go from the notes that you wrote or imitating these notes here. Okay, so we'll start the clock again.
Mr. David, I have a question about this one.
Yeah, sure.
How can we choose the suitable content word? That I find it's difficult for me and also for my student to note it and mention the keyword in each passage.
Yeah, cool. Let's work on that. So yeah, it's easier to say what to do than it is to do it. So let's work out. Wait, the clock's going to time out in a second. I'll just cancel that now. Okay, so yeah, so women, good work, good question. Now, so great. So for people who have been practicing and practicing, this is a test. This is the task that they get tested on. But to learn what to do is a different game. So different set of is a skill is learning the skill. So the content words are things, actions, and a description of those things and actions. So let's have a look. We're going to use our we're going to work out what to do. So I'm going to describe it as a teacher and then hopefully describe it accurately. So that's paragraph, paragraph, paragraph. So there are 3 paragraphs. So well, that's handy because we've got probably a main idea from one paragraph, main idea from the second part, and main idea from the third. Now, what we're going to learn about sentence structure, vocabulary, grammar, sentence structure, paragraph structure, and then we're going to write is going to be recognizable across large numbers of texts. So the first sentence of a paragraph, we learn to write as the topic sentence. Now, we hope that what we read conforms to that formula as well. So the main idea from each body paragraph will be expressed in the first sentence. If it's not, it's probably going to be expressed in the second sentence. But we'd like it if everybody put the topic sentence first. That's what we're going to do in our writing. So when we read the first one, we're going to expect that the topic sentence of each paragraph will give us an indication about what the paragraph is about. And then that idea will be developed in the paragraph. Each paragraph should contain just one main idea and the development of that main idea. But that's what it should contain, but it may not, because the writer may not conform to that pattern. They might have just done it some other way. So here we go. The notion of using solar cells placed under the skin to continuously recharge implanted electronic medical devices is a viable one. This paragraph is going to be about using solar cells placed under the skin. There's going to be some detail here. This one, according to lead author Lucas Burrito of Bern University, wearing power-generating solar cells under the skin will one day save patients the discomfort of having continuously undergo procedures to change the batteries. That's main idea here is worn under the skin. It means they don't have to change batteries quite so often. So we're going to take a note about solar cells being placed under the skin, generate power, reduce the number of procedures. And we're going to keep reading, but we're going to realize that the giveaway stuff was early in the paragraph in this case. This one, the new solar cells convert light from sun, so there's a new idea, producing that amount of power. So in my mind, this text is about solar cells being placed under the skin to generate power, reducing the number of procedures that patients have to go through, and these solar cells will consistently produce enough power. So what we've done is taken 3 main ideas from the whole text. And what I've done is chosen nouns and main verbs and some adjectives and adverbs in my note form. So my note form will be short phrases from the text, which I'll write down and then convert into a sentence. So your students will ask that, Emily, and they will say, how do I take notes? They will have not done it before, and it's very hard to know. So what we can do is slow the whole process down and work out as a whole class what are the main ideas in each paragraph. We can spend ages on this, meaning like a whole lesson, 2 lessons, and repeat it. We put this on the board, we work out. Yep, we do it even without, we go through as a class, what are the main ideas in each paragraph? You write them down, then as a class we'll decide, what are the main ideas? Then we'll go ahead and we'll underline them. We do it on the smart board, or we do it on we do it on printed paper. We go and a big write the keywords on the board. We learn to identify key information in each paragraph, and we take enough time to be able to do it. Then once we've learned how to do it, then we go and do it. For adults, we just say go and hope it works. But for students, literal students, we teach them what to do. So note taking is a skill. It's not, we don't do it intuitively. Yeah, we didn't know what to do. We could only do it once we learned what to do. Yeah, so slow down, go through each part, do 1 paragraph at a time, work out what is the subject of the sentence. Goes back to other stuff. What is the main idea of that sentence? What's the main idea of this sentence? What's the main idea of that paragraph? What's the main idea of that sentence? What's the main idea of that sentence? What's the main idea of the paragraph? And go through slowly enough so that you end up with, hopefully, an example of what it is we set out to do. Not hopefully, we aim to write a single sentence of 3 to 4 parts of 30 to 40 words that's grammatically correct. We don't hope to do it. We set out to do it, and we make mistakes. So we go back and start again, and we do another one until 3 weeks later we're actually writing the sentences. And it takes a while for people to learn. So solar cells are things that are used to generate enough power for pacemakers during winter and summer, and they are placed under the skin, which will help to continue undergoing procedures which are recharged or changed through a replacement procedure by new solar cells, and should be consistently generate. Now, what Kuhn needs to do is to correct it. Now, so here's the process, is to scan, skim, get an idea, deep read, take notes, write, and continually review by going back to the text and editing what you wrote. And what we're going to learn and that's a brilliant start. Tracy, the solar cells which can be put under the skin where they're able to produce power during winter and summer to power a typical pacemaker can prevent patients from having annoying feelings under processes, and the size of those is driven by batteries which can be recharged or changed. Not bad at all, Tracy, really good. Now, what Tracy's done is written relative clause into the sentence, which is what we're aiming to do. So we've written a complex sentence of 3 to 4 parts of 30 to 40 words, grammatically correct, but you can spend up to 75. So some students will crack it early based on their skill set. Others, we will walk them through the process. And that's why I think it's a good idea that we mentioned there are primary school students that you're teaching to work out what's a subject, what's a verb, what's an adjective, what's an adverb. You can use a text to identify what is an article, what is the subject, what is the verb, what is the form of the verb, what is, if it's a cell, what type of cell is it? It's a solar cell. Is it one or more than one? It's more than one. Continuously is an adverb that describes recharge. How is the recharging done? It's done continuously. Devices, what type of devices? Medical devices. Yes. Implanted electronic medical devices. So there's the noun, and there's the adjectives, implanted electronic medical, that describe devices. Where that's useful as well is that when we do read alouds, we're going to recognize that we're going to join those words together to describe devices. So, Kuhn, yep.
Hello, Mr. David. I have a question. For the student who have the first time to do this test, so if in case they click directly on the paragraph, what will happen to them?
If they click,
is there a mistake, or they will be minus score if they click directly on the paragraph.
They won't be able,
Yes.
they won't be able to. So on test day, what will happen is they'll get what we saw before.
What will happen when they click directly or they take notes directly on the paragraph, on the passage? Yeah.
Cool. They're able to. So when we go back,
okay.
so they're absolutely able to take notes on it. But don't do that because, well, you can. And in actual fact, the rules
That's a
allow you-
funny question, right?
Yeah, it's a funny question because what students can do is actually copy from the text into the box and then adjust the words. But I don't recommend they do it. I recommend they write down the main ideas, paraphrase them, and then start writing their own sentence. But you can actually copy and paste into the box. But don't press enter, because as soon as you press enter, it's gone.
Don't
Okay.
press enter. Yes.
Don't press enter.
Is there any notice for them when they do the real test?
Yeah. So on the real what will happen on the real test is is if we go back here, hopefully we can go back to here. So in the real test, that is what it looks like.
Yes.
And what will happen is they will type in here. Now, what it will show is there's a countdown from 10 minutes. So at 10 minutes, it will take whatever they wrote. But the idea is, that we spend 3 minutes reading, 4 minutes or so writing, and 3 minutes correcting all the way through, so that before the 10-minute mark, we get to press next rather than it goes. So we're in control of what we're doing. Yeah, is that yep?
So when in case they don't put the dot in the end of the sentence, so they have score or not?
Yeah, so punctuation is part of, it's one of the it's part of the written discourse skill set. So you must put a full stop, capital letter at the beginning, commas, which are generally not needed but are needed in relative clauses. Yeah, they need to put the full stop in. So so it's all recognized and they will. Now, what will also happen with marking is you can make errors in the test and still get full marks. And we'll talk about in other parts of the test as well. Now, Tracy looks upset or something. Tracy, you're right.
Yes, I wonder if the candidate can the candidate be given some paper and pen to take notes.
Yes, so it's known as an erasable pad, meaning able to be erased, and they're given a texter or a pen. They write on the board, and that you can rub it off. But generally, what you do is there's multiple pages. You turn them over, and then they'll give you another booklet. And they do need to write notes. So they do need to take notes there are 20 tasks. There are a number of tasks you need to take notes in. Yes, is the answer to the question. They get a pen and paper. So when they're practicing, encourage them to have a pen in their hand and to write notes. Because as we get more familiar with the test, you're going to find there's the listening tasks that they have to take notes from. Yep. There's planning an essay, have to plan on a pad in front of you. So yes, is the answer to the question. So there'll be different times when they need the pad. Tuan, how can I help?
Do we have the highlighting function on the paragraph, on the text? The highlighting function, if we can highlight it directly on the text.
On now or on test day?
On test day.
Yeah, no. So, but what you can do, but what they do allow you to do is they allow you to copy and paste. So you can't highlight, I don't think. It's quite a good question, but I don't think you can highlight as far as I know. What you can do though is copy the text into the chat box and then rearrange the words. But I suggest rather than highlight is you write down the words on the page, but I'm pretty sure you cannot highlight at this stage. That's as much as I know from the times I've taken the test. Good question. Now, we're going to have to pack it in. But what we're going to do is I'm going to set some homework for you to watch the overview of summarized written text and then practice. Now, some of you have already nailed it, and that's all you had to do. That is all you had to do. To be able to teach it is to work out what to do and then teach the method, teach students, give them the skills to be able to do what you can do, which is the process of teaching. Yeah, so I'll set homework for summarized written text. I'll also set the video for write essay. because the write essay is, the three hardest ones are write essay, describe, image, and retell lecture. Hard as in they take skills that you have to have no matter how good your English is. So I'll give you the video to watch on that. And then if you watch that before next class, we're going to meet again on Friday at the same time. I'll set some homework for the task as well. So the videos to watch, which are the overviews, because you're going to learn the methods, because you're going to teach them. And then you're going to prove to yourself that you can do them as much to yourselves as to me, so that when you teach them, you know what you're doing. And then it will give you confidence to be able to do it. And then I'll give you some homework so that I can give you a graded feedback on it. And then on Friday, and we'll leave it at that. That's enough. Only a little bit at a time, or it all gets way too much. Okay. Hey, so good work, guys. Thanks for your efforts. We're doing well.
Thank you.
Yeah. See you on Friday. Yep.
Yeah, thank you.
See you on Friday. Bye bye. Thank
Thank
you so
you.
much, Mr. David.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.